I'm Jackie Bondanza, and I'm president of Hounds Town, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. So I grew up in a lot of different places in my life. My dad was an FBI agent, so we had the fortune to travel really around the world as children. When my family moved back to the United States in about 1995, we moved to Garden City, New York. A couple of years after we settled into our house in Garden City, my dad unfortunately got sick. He was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and obviously that was a very, very life-altering event for my entire family. About 15 months later, he passed away. I was 16 years old at the time and in sophomore year of high school. Part of the grieving process for me and part of my healing process was to focus on being what I always kind of dreamed to be, and that was a successful business person. I ended up going to the University of Scranton and studying business and communication. I got really interested in business and economics and business growth. After a couple years of working full-time and getting my master's degree in journalism, I moved back to New York across the country, and I started working in New York City. My first job was at a radio station as a sales assistant. Had a couple additional jobs over the following couple of years in publishing. As I was working my way up the corporate ladder and trying to get ahead in the very challenging book publishing world, I got married and bought a house out east on Long Island, moved out there. Got a couple dogs and continued my 5+ hour commute round trip every day for a couple of years. I thought I had this very picturesque life and everything in my plan. After a couple of years, I started to just feel this feeling that I didn't really recognize. I realized that I wasn't happy. And I just felt like I could no longer find that in what I was doing. At the same time, I was starting to become unhappy in my personal life as well. As my marriage was ending, I realized that I really needed to take a couple steps back. I was really stressed out, both in my personal and my professional life. Little did I know that my life was about to change for the complete better, and that everything, really does happen for a reason. To add to the stress of an already stressful situation, I wasn't sure how my two dogs were going to acclimate into my mom's home. I went online one day and I Googled dog trainer near me, and that's when I came across Hounds Town. So I first heard from Mike, who you all know as Mike the Mayor. One of the last things he said to me was, just bring your dog down and don't worry, everything will be fine. And little did I know that that would actually turn out to be so true in my life. It was such a great foreshadow of, what would come over the next decade. And I pulled into Hounds Town, I saw the green and blue, and immediately it felt like my life was in color. So when I first walked into Hounds Town, the first person I met was Mike. He looked at me after about 20 seconds and he said, there's nothing wrong with this dog, all right? It's all in your head, and listen, give me the leash and watch me, I'll walk with her, she'll be fine with me. At that moment, that's like when I just kind of jumped down this Hounds Town rabbit hole. As the months went on and I used Hounds Town for my own dogs, for doggy daycare, 5 or 6 days a week, I started to become more and more involved in the business and in Hounds Town charities, and I was just really drawn to the simplicity and the fun nature and culture of the Hounds Town brand. And I thought to myself, why isn't this brand larger? Why is Mike not franchising this? I just saw a real opportunity for Hounds Town to become the premier pet care facility in the country, and I thought that I could help the brand get there. The staff were great. They, welcomed me, and over time I formed relationships with them, and I'm grateful to them. All of the Hounds Town knowledge, a lot of it that they shared with me, and that really helped in that first year or two for me to become acclimated to what it meant to be not only a business owner, but to then eventually become the leader of a company. For me, what drove me was finding something that I was really passionate about and really, really good at, and being successful at it. I can tell you without a doubt that Hounds Town changed my life in so many ways, both personally and professionally for the better. So if you're not living your life in vibrant colors, the Hounds Town way may be just what you need, just like it was for me.